Hey, welcome back to my Crash Bandicoot Let's Play. We're now going to be facing Papu Papu, the first of 6 bosses in the entire game. And this guy is just a total pushover. There's no challenge at all to this guy, really. All he does is he goes into the middle of the room and look at his face. You see his face? It's like, that's his face sums up this boss battle. It's just such a derp boss routine. All he does is just circle his staff around. It's such a bad boss battle. I can't even explain how bad it is. I mean, it just went that quickly. Actually, I think you can just stand on the chair he was sitting on and you can just avoid his attack altogether. I know I got hit when I did that, but I'm pretty sure if you stand in the right place, you can just avoid his attacks and he'll just keep spinning like a dumbass, like a Beyblade. So yeah, bounce on his head 3 times and you win. It's that simple. And the boss battles later down the road do get more elaborate. I say that there's more creativity to it instead of just bounce on his head while he's spinning like an idiot. So don't worry, the boss battles aren't a complete bore to watch. Some of them, can kick your ass the first couple times you play them until you figure out the pattern and what you have to do. But overall, the boss battles in this game aren't that bad. They're pretty easy to get down. But that's not the highlight of this game anyway. The game's highlight is its platforming and its level design and its fucking gem collecting. Ugh. Have I died yet? I don't think I've died yet. Trust me, it gets, if it's your first playthrough of this game and you're dying, it's gonna suck trying to 100% this game because you have to go back. Every level you die in once, you pretty much have to go back unless you die right at the beginning and you don't reach a checkpoint. You can start the whole level over again. You can get every box, but even still, even if you don't die, sometimes you need the fucking colored gem so that you can get the other boxes so that you can get a regular gem. And it's just, it's such a extension of game time that they've implemented with these gems. It's kind of sad, actually. It's a pretty pathetic way of extending game time. I wish they did something more than just gems and replaying levels, because on top of you playing multiple levels with the same scenery, like we've played this level before with the circular stones that you have to avoid. We've played that before in part 1, and we have to play that again. And then with the colored gems being necessary to 100% the game to get regular gems, you have to play that again so that you're avoiding stones like for the 5th time in a row. Or not in a row, but you're avoiding stones for the 5th time in your playthrough. It just gets a little monotonous and tedious. And after your 5th time, it's kind of boring, It's like sex. After your 5th time, you're like, I don't give a fuck anymore. So one thing I haven't explained yet in this game are the icons that you can collect throughout levels. You just seen I was in a bonus stage, and how I got to that bonus stage was I got 3 Tawna icons, which you can find throughout certain levels of the game in crates. And once you get your 3rd Tawna icon throughout the level, you're immediately transported to the bonus stage where you can get extra lives and a whole bunch of Wampa fruit. And it's actually the area where you can save your game. The only way you can save your game that I'm aware of is by going into one of these bonus stages or by collecting a gem. And that sucks because there is no technical hub world in this game. There is like a map, but there's no hub world that you can like move around in and select the level. And this is fixed in later games. Here I am talking about later games again. About Crash 2 and Crash 3 have a hub world where you can just save your game at any point, when you're browsing through levels, which one you want to go through. So I really like that. I also like that in Crash 2 and 3, you can choose which level you go to in a world. Like there are 5 stages in a world and you can choose which one you want to go to. You don't have to go through the first one. You can go through the 5th one if you want, if you're feeling ballsy. And I really like that. And I should really stop talking about them because this is Crash 1 and I'll get to Crash 2 and 3 eventually. So I'll save all of my love for those games when we get to them. So Tawna icons are important for the game because it's one of the 2 ways you can save your game. And if you're not going for gems right away, it's the only way you can save your game. So Tawna icons, very important to collect, very important to complete so you can get to the warp so you can save your game. So now we're in Hog Wild, and this is one of the gimmicky levels of the game where you hop on a hog and you can't stop. You have to keep going, and you have to avoid pitfalls, you have to avoid enemies, and while doing this, if you want to get the gem, you have to collect those boxes, which some boxes are really fucking annoying to get because they're placed in odd, awkward positions, which require, 2, 3, like, look, I almost missed that one. Like, I was probably like a frame or two away from missing that. Like, it's ridiculous. And the hog controls okay. It's like the level's layout, its bumpiness kind of throws you off. And that's like, it's a cool level, it's adrenaline rushing level. You can't stop, you gotta avoid these fucking shield bitches with no face. And that right there, those 3, I think I had to do this level again. I'm not completely sure. I might have had to do it like once or twice because those 3 boxes stacked together always fucked me up. I always missed like 1 or 2 just because, the game's hit detection didn't register that I was hitting them all. And it's not a long level, it really isn't, unless you're dying, of course, because the first run through you're definitely dying with this. There's no way that you can just look at an obstacle like the crocodiles on that rotisserie chicken type of thing. There's no way you're gonna know what to expect. So yeah, it's a cool level. It's very short. With me, I'm pretty good at this game, even though I haven't played it a lot. With experience with, I'm sorry, I'm talking about this again, but with the experience of Crash 2 and Crash 3, this game was pretty good. All I had to do was get down with the controls that were a little different. It was kind of awkward, but this game isn't too hard once you get the hang of it, once you know what you're doing. But I'm pretty sure first timers, like this would probably be like the first 3D platformer for some. If you're coming from the SNES era and you're playing Super Mario World and Donkey Kong Country, which is a fucking awesome game, and you're going to the PlayStation, which I think the PlayStation came out before the N64. I'm not entirely sure about that because I did own an N64 first and then got a PS1 later in my childhood. But if the PlayStation 1 came out first, don't quote me on that, if it came out first and Crash 1 was your first 3D game, I would understand why this is hard to get used to, because it's your first 3D platformer. Even though there's many 2D sections, the 3D hallways can get sometimes, I understand. The moral of the story is, I fucking understand if people had trouble with this game back then. Okay? Fuck. So anyway, back to the icons. There are 3 icons in the game. I've already explained the Tawna icons. You use those to save your game. There's a Brio icon, which I think I've collected 3 earlier when I was talking about the Tawna icons, but then I didn't have time to talk about it because then Hog Wild showed up and, all that bullshit. So the Brio icons are just very hard bonus stages where if you complete the little endurance test, the little obstacle course it has, then you'll get a whole bunch of lives at the end. If you die in it, and this is one thing I haven't explained, if you fall into the bottomless pits or you get blown up by a TNT crate in the bonus stages, it doesn't count as a death. You just get transported back to the regular stage, and if you want to go for the gem still, you can. That death didn't count. So that's one good thing about the bonus stages, is it's completely up to you if you want to do them or not. And if you have skill, you can complete the Brio stages and get like 5 lives at the end, which is good. And then Brio like smashes 2, what are they called? Beakers? They smash 2 beakers together and he fucking blows up and disappears. I don't know what the fuck is up with that. But anyway, the last icon is the Dr. Neo Cortex icon, and there are only 2 stages in the whole game which have these Cortex icons, and both of those stages unlock secret stages which have gems in them. So it's required to play these hidden stages, and they're also the hardest stages in the game. I would say they're the hardest stages in the game. If not the first secret stage, then definitely the second one. And as you can see in this save point screen, there are 2 keys, and the Cortex bonus stages unlock these keys, or they give you the key. At the end of the bonus stage, you'll see Cortex is standing there, and then he runs off, and he just drops a key where he was standing. I don't know why. It doesn't matter anyway. So you get the key, it unlocks the secret stage, and good luck, because if it's your first time out, you're definitely fucking losing some lives on that one. And the one thing about the lives in this game are, you can see, I have a lot of lives right now. You get lives plentiful in this game. They're everywhere. Wampa Fruit, 100 Wampa Fruit I've explained, give you an extra life. There are life icons in crates everywhere. It's not hard. There's bonus stages with extra lives. It's not hard to accumulate a lot of lives. I think I actually reached the maximum of 99 lives in this game. And the thing about the extra lives, though, is with the save feature in this game, the save feature is very primitive. It's the first, you know, I'm pretty sure it's like one of the first games on the PlayStation 1 to come out, and save features were pretty new back then. You know, they're pretty new. I mean, I know Super Mario World had a save feature, but some games didn't, you know. And for those that aren't familiar with a save feature, you still have a password system that you can use. This game gives you a password system, but it also is accessible with memory cards. And memory cards were a new thing back then, so maybe people who bought the PlayStation weren't aware that memory cards were a thing, so they didn't buy it along with their PS1. So it just gives, you know, consumers a little leniency if they don't have a memory card to use a password system. But the thing about using a memory card with this game is that it only saves certain things with this game. It only saves what level you're on. It only saves the amount of gems you have. It doesn't save how many lives you have. So right now I have 52 lives, but if I had to turn off the game and do something and then come back, I'd be back down to the default lives, which is 5. So that sucks, but you get so many lives anyway throughout stages that it doesn't really matter. And even if you really suck at the game and you're dying a lot, it still doesn't really matter because you get so many lives. So as you can see, I've missed 11 boxes in this stage. And the thing about this game is that, again, you've seen when I was going through the stage that these little red icons appeared, these little red gem icons, and as I got closer they became smaller until they disappeared. And that's because I needed the red gem, which is in the third island. So I have to go to the third island, get that red gem in this particular level, come back to the first island, and then do this stage again so that I can get the remaining 11 boxes. And the thing about this is, like, the way the game works is that whether you're missing 3 boxes or 11 boxes or maybe even like 20 boxes, they're usually all in the same area which require a colored gem. And it kind of sucks, it really does. It's just a dumb way to extend game time. I'm not a fan of it, but I am a completionist and I do like 100%ing games. So this run is a 100% run, and we will be going back and getting that gem. It won't take that long to get the gems because I usually get the clear gems that I can get on the first run through. So backtracking isn't that big of a deal in terms of my particular Let's Play. You know, if you're dying and you're missing crates, well then, 1, you fucking suck. And 2, you're gonna have to go back and extend your time, your play time with this game by getting 100%. I mean, if that's your thing anyway. If you just want to play the game, then God, I envy you, because 100%ing games is a curse. It's a curse I have to live with. It's fucking ugh. I mean, you know what it's like to go for platinums in games? God, that's another thing I do, is I go for platinums for PS3 games and PS4, and some trophies are fucking ridiculous. But I do them anyway. Why? Because I just like seeing that platinum. I just do. It's just one of the things I want. It's like heroin or cocaine. Rob Ford. I just want my fucking crack. I just need my crack. You know, I have a stressful day with dealing with these fucking councilmen in, you know, City Hall, and, you know, being a mayor is hard. So I just want that fucking platinum. Alright? Don't judge me. Fuck. Sorry about that. Anywho, speaking of people who are upset with their elected officials, Tawna in this game, Crash's girlfriend, actually stirred up a bit of complaining by parents back in the 90s. Their kids playing this game and seeing Tawna, seeing her fucking huge chest and short shorts and huge puffy lips. She's a sex object. She is. She was designed to be a fucking sex object. And, you know, parents who have an 8 or 9-year-old or whatever age is playing this game, well, not whatever age, because there's a time where you're gonna know what those things are used for. You know, for motorboating. They're used for motorboating. So yeah, parents were complaining, and you know what happens when parents are complaining? Usually there are changes to be had, and most of these changes aren't usually for the better. So in the later games, instead of Crash having a supposedly super hot girlfriend, he now has a flat-chested sister with a ponytail. So, I mean, whatever. Coco is alright. Her name is Coco. It doesn't matter. But look at Tawna. Look at her. Look at her pose. You see how she has her fucking leg, her foot up? Like, she's a prostitute. She is a Highway 5 and 10 prostitute looking to give someone a good time and many bad times down the road with her many diseases. So, I understand why parents are complaining. I think this game is rated E for everyone. I'm not 100% sure on that. It might be E10. But even still, back in the 90s, censorship was a big thing. You know, a lot of things were censored. There was more strict rules and regulations that gaming companies and even movies had to abide by. So I got the stage in this level, and we're never going to have to play it again, so how do you feel about that, Crash? Yeah, exactly. Fuck this stage. Fuck backtracking for 100%. Anyway, guys, I'll see you in part 3 where we face our second boss, Ripperoo. See you then.